This slide, it's all about reputation resources, was literally the first slide in my first meeting with our board of trustees, because they needed to get off the notion that we're a profit-maximizing institution. Instead, we really are all about something else. Here's one model of how reputation actually plays out towards behavior, and involves Morty Shapiro. And Morty Shapiro was the president of Williams, and Morty gave a very, very short and effective presentation on assessment. He said, look, we accept about 10% of our applicants, and we have all the employers we need knocking down our door to hire our students. We're done with assessment. Yeah, well, they're done with assessment because Williams already has a reputation. Here's a different model. This is a model for which reputation depends, for example, critically on a book called Colleges That Changed Lives. And if you don't think this thing matters, in my first 2 weeks at Beloit College, I went to a prospective student event, and the director of admissions said, oh, how many of you first heard about Beloit College through this reputation-building device? Half the hands in the room went up. Think about what that does to us. We're, in some ways, trying to distinguish ourselves and get on the radar screen to a group of students that otherwise wouldn't ever consider this set of schools, while at the same time tying us at the hip to 39 other colleges that are near and dear competitors to us. This dramatically changes the economics of our schools. We are in a very, very competitive world in which nuanced differences in reputation drive everything. The key thing about a reputation is that it's inherently relative. And things that are inherently relative to each other when you're in competition lends itself towards non-cooperative behavior. So those of you that are nearly as old as I am may remember Dr. Strangelove. But Dr. Strangelove is the story of the US and Soviet arms race. Well, it's a metaphor for our industry. The reputational difference between being 60 and being 20 is $16 million in annual operating budget, of which 80% of that difference comes from net tuition. How do you know if you're a tuition-driven institution? I mean, of course, all of us, Harvard even, depends on tuition, so we're all sort of tuition-dependent. That's not really what we mean by tuition-driven. So here's one answer. If between May 1 and August 15th, every important question your president is asked is, have you made your class? Then you're a tuition-driven school. How big a deal is this enrollment thing? Well, Goddard's not us, but they had to deal with a $550,000 deficit. Why? Where'd the deficit come from? Because of enrollment declines. It wasn't because of a decline in endowment. It was because of enrollment declines that caused Goddard to have a $550,000 deficit, in which they say, but no layoffs are planned, just prior to announcing 75 layoffs. The game is student recruitment, not admissions. I care about whether our admissions team is making decent choices among our students. I care a lot more whether they're actually recruiting students to the campus. I just took Beloit College's history here. So this is inflation-adjusted net tuition for the last 10 years. And if you don't see much upward growth, it's because there isn't much upward growth. This is a consequence of extreme price competition. The evidence that we get at Beloit College is that students at Beloit are very price sensitive. Relatively small differences in how we package their financial aid make a big difference in choices that they're making about what schools to attend. And we get a lot of evidence around this. We're in the business of trying to put good students with good students. Now suppose that we have two schools embedded in a non-cooperative engagement here. If I offer a merit award and you do not, we're close enough substitutes, so the probability of the student choosing me is going to be 1.0. And if you offer a merit award and I don't, they're going to choose you. No matter what you choose to do, my incentive is to offer a merit award. Your incentive is going to be to offer a merit award. We both offer merit awards. Georgia Nugent at Kenyon College. She ends up, just about a month ago, in the Boston Globe. Georgia Nugent, the outgoing president, she's led discussions among small college presidents about whether they can collectively decrease merit aid without reducing competitiveness. Yet her own college, disappointed with the crop of students who accepted admissions, enrollment, did you make your class? Boosted merit aid. How embarrassing is this for me, says Georgia, at the end of this. Yeah, that's the power. And if there's a message that's going to come out of this, it's the strong, strong incentives that we have individually to actually promote these arms races.